Floods the Sports Zone. And Grant, thanks for coming on today as well.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure doing the Power Skate Show with my man Alex Stossel. We're going to have a lot of sports news over the past week, and quite a bit of news actually happened today, which is pretty good. Obviously want to go over more recent. And, this should be a good show.
Yes, and before we start, we would like to remember two players, Alexei Tzikov, and Jack Mickelhargy, who passed away later last week, and we would like to give them a honorary tribute today.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, Alexei Tzikov fortunately passed away of a heart attack at 42 years old. Now, I'm not exactly sure how Jack McClary passed away, but he was 67, I believe. So, yeah, very unfortunate news. Yes, they were retired, but you always, hate seeing, of course, former athletes and stuff, passing away, and prayers go out to their families.
Yeah, thank you. And that's for that. And before we start the whole thing, I asked you guys to please hit the like button, and that's going to make us do more podcast views in the near future. And so here echoes. And let's get this party started. So everyone's favorite, the free agents. So let's start. For the LA Kings, we got Tim Schaller. He's a center, 28 years of age. His last contract was $1.9 million per year. Will he resign with the LA Kings, yes or no?
I don't know. He's like a fourth-line player, honestly. Maybe third line if someone gets hurt. As a Kings fan, I wouldn't really want them to re-sign him. He's kind of, especially after the draft, he's pretty much, I don't think, going to have a room on the roster. I think he's pretty much going to be sent down to the Kings AHL team, which,
it's Ontario Ray.
Yeah, Ontario Ray. Yep, I was about to say, I'm pretty sure it was Ontario. So I would say the Kings probably won't re-sign him, and I really don't know what team would want to pick him up. But I don't know. I see the Kings getting rid of him though.
Yeah. Well, the original contract was in Vancouver, so I kind of see him go to Ottawa. See him go to Detroit, or maybe go to somewhere in Minnesota. So I don't see him resign. Next, we got Josh Lavo from the Vancouver Canucks. $1.5 million per year. He's a left wing and 27 years of age. Will he resign with Vancouver? Yes or no, Josh Lavo?
Yeah, kind of in the same boat as Tim Schaller. Like, I know Schaller was decent on the Sabres and went over to the Kings. He hasn't really been that great. Same thing with kind of Josh Lavo. He was decent on the Maple Leafs the first couple years of his career, but, went over to Vancouver and really just hasn't been the same player. Here she was a rookie in 2015-16, if I'm not mistaken. And, I mean, he's okay. Maybe the Canucks would re-sign him. Perhaps. I'm not entirely sure, but I would say probably not. And we have our guest. We have Michael Mursky from the Next. Let's get him on here. You can join us for this edition of the Power Skate Show. What's up, Mike?
Hey.
We're not getting into it yet. The share screen.
No, hold up. We messed up.
All right. So Michael, we're doing the free agents. So we're asking is so Josh Lavo from the Vancouver Canucks. He's left wing, 27 years of age. His last contract was $1.5 million per year. Will he resign with Vancouver? Yes or no?
Well, it really depends. What'd you say? What position was he?
He's a left wing, Josh Lavo.
Right. They could definitely use him. I don't know much about it, but I'm gonna say yes, they will. Teams like the Canucks really who are in the next couple of years, who've been building up in the future with obviously Patterson and Hughes. They're gonna need as much help as they can get for the future. I guess they will re-sign him probably.
Yeah. For me, Josh Lavo, this is a coin flip in my mind because yes, he was solid in Toronto. Had injury issues from Vancouver, especially like this year. I have no idea, but if he does not, then I kind of see him go to the Islanders as like a backup bomb 6 level forward. I kind of see him go to Calgary or Nashville. If I would choose, I would say he has a good chance of re-signing with Vancouver.
Yeah.
All right. So next player we got Johan Larsson from the Buffalo Sabres. 28 years of age. He's a left wing at $1.55 million per year. Will he re-sign with Buffalo? Yes or no? Johan Larsson. Michael, would you like to start?
Will Johan Larsson resign? I'm gonna go with yeah. I think he will. I do believe, especially like with these players, that might not. I know there's some background noise behind me. I'm not sure to fix that. But with these players, like I do think that they're going to sign with a team that they're already used to, especially after this break. So a guy like Marson, I would say yeah, he will re-sign there.
Grant, Johan Larsson.
Yeah, Johan Larsson's interesting. I think he's just been on the Sabres throughout his entire career, and he actually has been one of those very few players on the bottom couple of lines for Buffalo that actually produces at a decent rate. I would imagine the Sabres would re-sign him to about a 2-year deal or so. It'll be interesting what they do, but I would imagine Buffalo, I think they would be doing the right thing if they did re-sign him, for sure.
Yeah, I do not see Johan Larsson re-sign with Buffalo. I think he needs to be a team that is more likely like in the bubble, like for example, like Chicago, Anaheim, or Florida. If I would choose, I do not see him re-sign with Buffalo. I see him be as a bubble player and on a bubble team. All right, this is interesting. We got Troy Brouwer, former Capital. He's 35 years of age. He's right wing, $1.5 million per year. Will he not come back to the NHL or re-sign with St. Louis or go anywhere? Yes or no? Grant, would you like to start Troy Brouwer?
Sure. Troy Brouwer was very good in the early part of the 2010s, but I pretty much say since around 2017, he has fallen off a cliff statistically, and he's been more of that, forward who just delivers some big hits, not really the forward that we used to know him as, used to, crash in net, make plays happen. I would say Troy Brouwer, he's either going to sign a 1-year deal with a contender like Boston or Tampa Bay or Philadelphia, or he's going to the KHL. It's going to come down to one of those two things, I think. Or he might even stay in St. Louis because, they're a contender. Maybe he'll stay with the Blues, but I don't know.
Michael, Troy Brouwer.
Yeah, Troy Brouwer's an interesting case. Troy Brouwer's back when he was on the Caps, I really liked Troy Brouwer. I'm a big Caps fan. But, as Grant mentioned, ever since he really left the Caps, he went to St. Louis, bounced around. He was back in St. Louis last year, was with the Panthers and the Flames. So I don't know if the NHL is the right spot. He's really dropped off since, the mid 2010s and 2015, 2016 range. He's been going down, and I think KHL might be the way to go. It might be his best case scenario. I don't even know if a team wants to even sign him. Troy Brouwer, though, had a pretty solid career. He played for Chicago and Washington in the beginning of it. And so Troy Brouwer, I say KHL.
Yeah, I'm gonna say a shock. I think he might call it a career. Like, yes, like he has an accomplishment in 2010 when he won the Stanley Cup. You good, Michael?
Oh no!
I think we're having some difficulties.
Hold on, he's muted. There we go.
Hang on. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, I was having technical difficulties, so I had to go to my phone because I was having technical difficulties on my laptop. So So someone called me, so I might, that's why my screen went a bit black. But can you guys see me all right now?
Yeah.
Yep, definitely.
All right. As I was saying, I'm gonna make a shot on Troy Brower. I think he's gonna call it a career. Yes. Yeah. He has won the Stanley Cup before in 2010. Made lots of memories in the NHL. 2014-15 was a historic year for Troy Brower. Scored a game-winning Winter Classic goal. That's the game that I went to, and I was losing my mind. Had great years with St. Louis. Had great years in Calgary a little bit, and Florida back with St. Louis. Yeah, I think it's time for him to go in pro hockey. If I would say, then he might call it a career.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting. The one memory that sticks with me when I think about Troy Brower is when he scored the game-winning goal in Game 7 of the 2016 playoffs against the Blackhawks. I don't know if you guys remember that game or not, but that was one of the most entertaining hockey games I've ever watched when I was, younger. And, I never really, cared for Troy Brower a whole lot. I didn't dislike him. I didn't really like him. But I think that one play made me like, wow, Troy Brower. Like, I know he's like mainly a second, third liner, but he can deliver in the clutch. And as you bring up that Winter Classic goal that happened about a year prior, simply put, Troy Brower, he was clutching the situations. Overall, he was a very good player. And even if he does retire, he's still going to go down as a very good player. Not a Hall of Fame or anything, but still a very good player. And he delivered in the clutch.
Troy Brower, I really like Troy Brower. I actually have, and I just realized that I have in my room right now, I have a Troy Brower bobblehead. One of the caps. It's like right up there. I want to show you. We were just talking about Troy Brower. I completely forgot I had it. But hold on. Hold on.
Sure. You can go show it to us for sure.
There we go. All right. I got Troy Brower right here. Capitals.
Oh, the mustache.
Yeah. I had it, so I completely forgot I had it. So yeah, but Troy Brower, I used to really like Troy Brower. He was one of my favorite caps when he played there. And obviously, Alex, as you mentioned in that Winter Classic back in 2015, that was great.
All right. Next player, we got Michael Stone from the Calgary Flames. $1.166 million per year. He's a defenseman. Will he re-sign with Calgary? Yes or no? For me, KHL.
I mean, he's good. I mean, he's. I think he's still good. I think he's got to wait a couple more years before he goes to the KHL. In my opinion, he's definitely not re-signing with Calgary. The Flames have a wicked good defensive core. They really don't need to keep him around. But you would think maybe like a team like Columbus or Toronto might want to pick him up on like a 1-2 year deal, maybe even New Jersey, see what he has left in the tank. Then I think after that contract, if it flops, then I think he goes to the KHL. But I think he deserves one more shot in the NHL. He was very productive when he was on the Coyotes, but once he went over to the Flames, he did kind of fall apart. But I still think he is overall a solid defenseman, so I think I would keep him in the NHL for at least another year.
Michael?
Yeah, I agree with Grant here. I think I think NHL is he's been a 9-year career mainly with Arizona and Calgary, which he's not been as good. But I don't really know. I agree that Calgary doesn't really need him that much. They're really, Grant, as you mentioned, they've been building up in that defensive core, and I don't think he's gonna really help him much. I do think an AHL team is probably gonna pick him up. Whether it's one of the teams you mentioned, Grant, or you might have to wait a while, or maybe even he goes to the KHL. But he's been a solid player throughout his career since 2011. So it's interesting to see where he's gonna end up.
Yeah. All right. We'll do one more. We will do Ben Hutton from the Los Angeles Kings, originally from the Vancouver Canucks. $1.5 million per year. He's a defenseman, 27 years of age. Will he re-sign with the LA Kings? Yes or no? Grant, would you like to start? Ben Hutton.
Sure. When Vancouver picked up Ben Hutton, I was like, yo, they got their next good defenseman. Like, they're going to pair this guy up with Alexander Edler, and the Canucks produce massive points. Well, I was completely wrong on that, but while he's on the Kings, doing okay. I would imagine the Kings would probably give him a 1-2 year deal. I think I would rather see Ben Hutton in the KHL than Michael Stone, if I'm being honest with you. But I don't know. I'll say the Kings do re-sign him. If not, he'll probably go to a contender and be a good cheap depth piece.
Michael Ben Hutton.
Yeah, Ben Hutton. He's more of a younger guy. Five years he's been playing in his career. He's been really solid a lot. I did get excited as well, Grant. But I think a team that's now participating is more likely a team to sign him. I think I'm looking at a team possibly like Montreal. For Hutton, maybe he could go there, help him out. But yeah, he's had a so far solid career. He still has a lot to go. He's another guy I'm really interested to see where he goes.
Yeah, for me, Ben Hutton, I kind of see him go to Buffalo. See him play for Washington if anything happens to their decor, or maybe Nashville. If I would choose, I would say he will not re-sign with the LA Kings. All right, that's gonna wrap up for our free agency. So it's time to have our topics. So Grant, would you like to do the honors for today?
Sure, we can get underway with the topic. Well, the first thing I have to mention, boy, this was huge news. The Western Conference playoff arena, of course, the Rogers Place in Edmonton. Well, we had a water damage to the arena, of course. One of the two arenas they had to pick to play the playoff games, and this happens due to a severe weather storm. I was so disappointed when I heard this, and I'm thinking, should they quickly switch it to Vancouver or Las Vegas? But no, it does look like they're going to be able to fix everything by next Tuesday, when the exhibition games start. So I guess that's good. So it looks like, it was serious at first, but they've already done well. They're already well underway in the construction over this past weekend, and I'm sure it'll be done by probably this weekend at the latest. I think we'll still see hockey in that arena.
Yeah, like Rogers. I was about to say Rogers Arena, but Rogers Place. What's weird is that it's like a new arena. It's like 4 years old, I believe, and it's now into like a flood, like severe flood from a storm in Edmonton. But luckily they're cleaning stuff up, which is a good sign that we will definitely have playoffs in that arena. So I think like Edmonton is like all good to go for the playoffs.
Yeah, Grant, as you said, like they had to pick the one arena with the storm, but thank God that it's not, it's going to pass and the damage should be fixed up by the first. But it was just kind of ironic that right when they picked the stadium, there's a storm now. We got to get worried. It's like we were waiting for the snow for so long, and then we finally got a stadium, but now there's worry again. But thank God that it seems like it's going to be fixed by the time the playoffs arrive.
Yeah. Is everything okay? All right. So NHL rumors, we're gonna start with this as a big one. So on the NHL trade rumors, verified Instagram account, Pittsburgh Penguins are making bold moves, trying to trade Evgeny Malkin.
Stop this nonsense. It will not happen, ladies and gentlemen. Evgeny Malkin is staying in Pittsburgh. That is a fact.
On the news. Like you said of Brock Besser, like you do not bring him up on the news.
No, he said this before about Brock Besser and Tiger Bro. You have a guy who is still producing. He's on your first line. Do not mess it up. Don't get rid of him. Your team is in win now mode. Stop. Take a deep breath and keep Evgeny Malkin. There you go.
Yeah. Now that's it. That's it. All right. How about this? Let's make this up. There are rumors about Jamie Alexiak being traded to the New Jersey Devils. So, what are you guys' thoughts? Alexiak to the Devils. Graham, would you like to start?
Sure. Jamie Alexiak, a bit of a more realistic rumor this time around. And I definitely think that this could happen for sure. He's been a decent defenseman for the Stars and the Penguins so far. I've liked what he's done, honestly. He brings a very physical presence to the defense. Honestly, that's something New Jersey needs. I think if you pair him up next to PK Subban, you have a very hard-hitting defensive core if you place them next to each other. So I would probably say, yeah, I'd do it, especially if I'm New Jersey. I would probably say, you could easily get Alexiak, I think. I think maybe trade away like a somewhat decent AHL prospect and like a third round pick. You should easily be able to pick up Alexiak with that. So I think a lot of teams will probably be targeting him, but New Jersey definitely should.
We did not know what happened to Michael. I think he's having some difficulties.
All right. At least he's back, but yeah.
Something happened, and for some reason, like, the audio is really weird, and my camera's not working. I'm so sorry. There's a lot of technical issues we've been trying to fix. But
That's
is it okay if I have my camera off for now? Or
yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Okay. So we're talking about Jamie Alexiak to the Devils. So Michael, what will be your thoughts if that ever happens? If Alexiak goes to the Devils?
It wouldn't be a bad move. I mean, he spent obviously most of his career in Dallas and now in Pittsburgh, then going back to Dallas for Alexiak. But I don't think it'd be a terrible move at all. It's obviously much more realistic than Malkin going anywhere. So Devils would seriously help the Devils, and so I definitely see it happening.
Yeah, like Jamie Alexiak is now a depth defenseman with Dallas right now, because once he was in Pittsburgh, all the defense are now loaded, because there's no room for Alexiak. He has been healthy scratched the whole entire time. No one has ever gotten injured. And I think it's time for Alexiak, to be on a new team that he can play a lot than he ever had last year.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about Brendan Lemieux's 2-game suspension from the New York Rangers. So the cause of the suspension was the dirty hit from Joonas Donskoi from the Colorado Avalanche. So what are your complete thoughts about Lemieux's suspended for 2 games in the playing round? So, Michael, would you like to start? Brendan Lemieux's suspension.
Yeah, that's Rangers, right? So,
yep.
It obviously will affect them, but it's 2 games, and 2 games is a lot. Especially in a best of 5, it matters a lot. It really depends on how all the other players step up. Thank goodness it's not like a huge star or like a Panarin or really anybody else. What? Yeah, right. So I do believe that it was obviously the suspension. He was worth it. It was worth it. It was I'm blanking on the word, but he did not do the right thing on that with that hit. It will affect them, but it's 2 games, and then after that he'll go back to producing the way he's been producing.
Yeah, Grant, what are your thoughts about Lemieux's suspension?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think if the Rangers continue on the playoffs, I think he will be producing at a pretty good rate. I mean, I mentioned this last week when we first heard that he was getting suspended. I said it should be 2 games at max. Joonas Donskoi, it wasn't like a career-threatening injury or anything like that. Yes, it was a high stick to the face. He definitely, I think, deserved to get a suspension. But, yeah, 2 games, especially when you already haven't played in roughly 3 months, you're kind of already rusty anyway. So, That's pretty much for everybody. So, I think, for Lemieux, the 2-game suspension was right. Again, it was a bad hit. Don't get me wrong. I think he did deserve a suspension, but I was thinking 2-3 games max. And let's see what happens. But no, I think if the Rangers advance far into the playoffs, I think once he returns, he will be that pretty solid third liner like he was throughout the season this year. I think he'll come back strong and will hopefully stay clean.
Yes. And do you want me to announce the next topic or use Ben?
I don't know if you were going to say what I was going to say. I was actually going to bring up how Jay Bouwmeester is going to sit out for the NHL playoffs. Actually, he's going to be in Canada with his family, but he's not really opting out, I guess, how do I explain this? He's not really opting out. He's just more like, oh, hey, I'm not going to play because, well, obviously he had a heart attack near a couple weeks before we had the lockout, and obviously that was really sad. So, I think he's doing it right, especially in his mid to late 30s. I think he has to relax and think about, okay, if I really want to make a comeback for the NHL next year, I think I just got to sit this playoffs out, fully recover, and, really make up your decision by, say, mid to late November if he's going to come back for next year. I think Jay Bouwmeester is 100% doing the right thing here. Again, not really opting out. He is spent down with his family, of course, due to that tragic incident that happened in that Blues-Ducks game back in late February. But, again, I think we could all agree that Jay Bouwmeester is doing the right thing for himself here.
Yeah, for me, I think if I was like Jay Bouwmeester, I would say stay out for the whole playoffs if the Blues are back in the Stanley Cup final, because he wants to hold the Stanley Cup one last time if that happens, and then just call it a career and he's all good to go in his own life. So I don't blame him for his decision, but I think that he should come back if the Blues are in conference final or Stanley Cup final tier.
Right. Yeah, so, I agree with Grant. I think this is the right move for Bouwmeester. I mean, he's especially after that injury, he's had a solid career. Finally got the cup last year, but I think he needs some time, and it's really safety is a big issue, but especially for him who just in late February in that Ducks game, if I'm not mistaken, actually the Blues Ducks game the day that the NHL was suspended was or the day before was the game that originally got postponed because of that injury where he passed out on the bench. So I do think it's the right move for him, for his safety, staying in Canada with his family.
Yeah. All right. Next topic that I'm going to point out: cancer survivor from the Philadelphia Flyers, Oscar Lindblom, finished as ELC last year. Now signing to a regular deal, 3 years, $3 million per year from the Philadelphia Flyers. So yeah, what are your guys' thoughts about Lindblom re-signing with Philadelphia? Grant, would you like to start?
Sure. I think this is awesome that the Flyers re-signed him. Fantastic depth piece, like I mentioned before. Obviously, survived cancer. That's great. I think a 3-year, $9 million deal is exactly pretty much what he's worth. And, you've seen when he's healthy, he is one of the better third and fourth liners on the Flyers. We have seen that already. And I know that this, little bump in the road, it's not going to get in his way. I think when he returns to the ice next year, I really do think he's going to perform very well. And, I really think the Flyers are going to be motivated to try to win the cup for him this year. And I think Lindblom will probably win comeback player of the year next year. That's my prediction. I think this is a smart move for the Flyers to re-sign him. And honestly, Lindblom, he's been producing very well. And, he's going to want to, take this opportunity and be like, hey, I'm going to take this opportunity. I'm going to really start to perform, perhaps maybe even way above his head, to kind of prove that, hey, this, this unfortunate event, it's not going to end my career or anything. I'm just going to go back out, do what I originally was doing, and be a fantastic hockey player.
So, yeah. Michael, sorry.
Go ahead. What did you say?
I said, Michael, what are your thoughts about Lindblom resigning to Philadelphia?
Right. I mean, the Flyers have given Lindblom a tremendous amount of support, obviously, through his battle with cancer, which is complete, and, we're happy that it is. I think it's the right move. He's on the ice. He really does produce for them a lot. And, I agree with Grant that this is the right size contract for him, who might, need some time, but he's not going to let this stop him from continuing his career and hopefully continuing it well, because he was a really good player for the Flyers. So I'm glad they worked out a deal, and it was expected considering the amount of support the Flyers have been giving him over the past couple of months. So yeah, I do believe this is the right move. I like the move.
Yeah. And Lindblom, I think it was a good move for him to resign, because he's starting to become a future top 6 player, second line center. Like he's close. If he did not have cancer to end the season, he would get his first career 20 goal mark. But like next year he will definitely score 20 goals as a makeup from his cancer. It may be a surprise if he scores 30 as like a great story comeback. I'm so excited about Lindblom's future, like as a Caps fan, but just like giving respect for a guy who had cancer before and who's like young and has a bright future ahead of him.
Absolutely.
So for the Bruins, Grant, I will let you start. Reports say David Pastrnak will not play in the postseason if he does not arrive in Toronto by Thursday. So, what will be your thought if Pastrnak does not come back to the playoffs? Like, will it affect the whole entire roster?
Absolutely. When I was reading about that, and this is just reports. I don't know if this is official or not. This is based off of just reports I've read. But yeah, if Pastrnak does not go to Toronto by tomorrow, yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to play in the playoffs. I think Andre Case as well, the player they picked up from the Ducks during the trade deadline, I'm pretty sure he also won't be able to play, as they are either not in Toronto or also some players are just unfit to play at the moment, and that's a huge issue. Andre Case brought a ton of depth for the Bruins since coming over. And, I mean, if you just lost Pastrnak, you just lost your first line. I mean, yes, you still have Bergeron and Marchand, who I'm assuming are going to still be producing at a very good rate. But at the same time, I think you lose a guy like Pastrnak, who is really your goal scorer. I don't even know if they make it out of the first round, no matter who they're facing. I think it's going to be rough. Although I do know Pastrnak isn't the greatest in the playoffs. I do know in the first round against the Maple Leafs last year, and I think even for a little bit the third round against the Hurricanes, he kind of played May. He played great against Columbus, and he played pretty well in the Stanley Cup Finals against St. Louis. But kind of 2 of the 4 series, Pastrnak for the most part was quiet. So, he's not the biggest playoff performer, but overall I still think it will be a huge loss.
He was dominating this year.
Absolutely.
Pastrnak tied with Alex Ovechkin for NHL leader in goals. This is going to be huge news for the Bruins. He's been the leader, like this year at least, because in the postseason he historically has not been excellent, but this year was definitely one of the better players in the NHL, and this is going to be a huge blow to the Bruins. I'm going to be completely honest. As a Caps fan, when I saw this, I smiled. I'm wondering what the issue is. You said that he might be unfit. Maybe pasta had too much pasta. That was a joke. So he'll be a humongous loss though for the Bruins if he does not play.
Yeah, and speaking
Absolutely.
speaking of Boston, Am I? I think I'm doing this right. 3 Bruins players that could be on the move for this offseason. So this
Yeah,
is
we
gonna
could
be
certainly do that.
so this is gonna be a great
Absolutely.
answer. So Grant, take it away.
All right, 3 players who I think are going to be on the move this offseason. I think Torrey Krug is going to ultimately stay in Boston, but I do think they would have to get rid of a defenseman, and I think that defenseman's going to be John Moore. He was decent on the Rangers and the Devils, and he's been okay with the Bruins, but at this point, he's a healthy scratch half the time, so I honestly don't even know why they still have him, especially if they are going to re-sign Krug. I kind of feel like, they could really dump off John Moore like in the draft or something along the lines of that. I wouldn't release him or really bump him down to Providence. I really tried to trade him away and get, I don't know, like a 3rd-round pick for him. And maybe even, with now Jamie Alexiak on the trade block, I'd honestly take like more in a 5th for Alexiak. Like I'd do a trade like that too, maybe. But anyway, I think John Moore is definitely going to be one of them. And I'm going to say my most controversial one for last, but the second Bruins player who I think could be on the move is, and this one's a little bit controversial, but Sean Corrali. If they can't pay him, I don't think they're going to keep him around. And I know he's a fantastic depth piece for Boston, so that's why I kind of think this one's going to be kind of hard to believe, at least for another couple of years. And I like Corrali a lot. I think he's been very solid throughout his time with Boston. Of course, got the game-winning goal in the 2019 Winter Classic, and overall he was pretty good in the playoffs last year. But in reality, I think when it comes down to, if we're not going to have a penny to pay you, I think he's just going to be another trade asset probably next year during the trade deadline. And then my final one, which is my most controversial one, David Krejci. Here's why. He is an assist machine. Don't get me wrong, but he is in his mid-30s now. I know he just came off of getting 40-plus assists this year, but he's getting a little bit old. He's getting a little bit, not, I don't know how to explain this. He's definitely not the goal scorer he once was, and he's kind of turning into more of that physical body. So those are my 3 Bruins players, kind of controversial ones, but
yeah.
What do you guys think?
for me, I would say Matt Grzelcyk.
Matt Grzelcyk.
Matt
He was
Grzelcyk.
another one I was thinking of, Grzelcyk.
I'm gonna save the most shocking for last as well, which is gonna be even worse than David Krejci.
Ooh, all right.
Second one, I'm gonna say Carson Coleman.
I could see that too.
And the biggest shock of all, Charlie Coyle. Here's why on Coyle. Yes, he did fantastic in the playoffs last year. He had a breakout in the Stanley Cup final. Did fantastic. But did he do the same thing like he did in the last regular season? Possibly. I think he did. But if you're looking on your future in Providence, you have Jack Studnicka getting ready to jump in the NHL. You have who's the guy that John Beecher from the U.S. program. You have guys who are insanely prepared to take the spot in Boston. I think Grzelcyk might get touched. Who did I say?
I think you said Carson Coleman.
Yeah, Carson Coleman and Charlie Coyle.
I mean, my thought process was the Bruins get rid of Krejci so they can bump up Coyle to that second line, officially. But that was kind of my thought process when I was thinking they were getting rid of Krejci. What do you think, Mike?
First off, I do think Torrey Krug, I think he's going to go. I'm looking at a team like the Red Wings possibly to pursue him. And then, they have a lot of players that next year would be free agents. So the Bruins really need to start looking for some other people. Free agents, I believe these are some. I'm pretty sure DeBrusque is a free agent next year. Krug, I'm pretty sure Coil as well. It's a big group. Am I right on that? By the way, if I'm looking at this correctly. There's a big group. I was just thinking about it, and Alex, you said it. I was actually thinking about Charlie Coyle. He was on my mind a lot for this answer when you guys first brought up the question. And I think I think I might actually have to go Coyle as well with Krug. They're gonna have to lose a lot. So it's going to be tough for them, but I think Krug, Coyle, and then for the other one, it's tough. I think, and I do believe they're going to have move a lot in free agency. They're going to get a lot of players. This might be controversial, and again, I gotta go with Chris Wagner. Right?
I can see Chris Wagner definitely.
He's been kind of dropping off lately. He played for the Ducks and the Islanders in 1.2. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I do think he's been dropping off lately. I think that's the guy they might be able to afford to lose, but they're gonna have to go after a lot more players in free agency.
Yeah. And speaking of Boston, Tuukka Rask has left practice multiple times very early, injured his ring finger during workout/box jump. So let's start with you, Grant. How will it affect Boston if they start the playoffs like right now?
You see, here's a good question, because obviously it sinks, seeing Rask get hurt, and it looks like he's going to be all right, and he's got to play anyway. But here's why I'm not worried at all, because Yaroslav Halak, for the past 2 years, has been the best backup goaltender. I don't think at this point there's any denying that.
Right.
And he continues to prove, whenever he fills in. Well, I know when Rask was injured earlier this year, Halak played outstanding. He only had like 1 or 2 regulation losses. Like Halak, he has the experience, and he can certainly, I think the team really rallies behind him as well. I think they feel very confident whether it's Rask or Halak in the net. So I'm going to say if Rask, for whatever reason, has to miss a couple games, or if Rask does get injured sometime during the playoffs, I'd be fine with Halak. Now, if Rask and Halak get hurt, then I don't think the Bruins have a chance with any of their Providence goalies. But I will say, if Rask does have to miss some time, I'd be fine with Halak running the show, honestly.
So, Michael, what do you think about Rask?
Yeah, I mean, the Bruins, obviously have been one of the better teams this year, and they locked in a playoff spot, and Tuukka Rask has been excellent, and I agree with Grant. I really think it's undisputable who the best backup goalie in the NHL is. That's, Yaroslav Halak, especially in the past couple years. But I am still worried. Obviously, Tuukka Rask has experience in the playoffs. So does Halak, but, Rask has been the guy this year for the Bruins. It'd be a huge loss, but they wouldn't really miss him for that many games. If it started back up today, hopefully by then for the Bruins, Rask will be back. I think it'll be a big loss, but I agree with Grant that if anything, if any backup goalie would be able to replace a guy like Tuukka Rask, it would be Yaroslav Halak.
Yeah. And another interesting topic, NHL 21 is returning to Xbox One and PlayStation 4. How happy are we? Yes, I am extremely happy that they're bringing back to PlayStation 4 because I do not want to buy PlayStation 5 to this day right now.
I'm in the same boat as you, Alex. I'm very glad PlayStation 4. I heard Madden's also all the Madden and I heard they're both coming back on PlayStation 4. I don't want to buy a PlayStation 5 right now, so get to keep the PlayStation 4 for another year. And NHL is definitely one of my favorite video games. One of my favorite things to do when I'm bored. It's very exciting to play that game, so I'm very glad it's come back to PS4.
So, Grant, how happy you are that NHL 21 is back in Xbox One and PlayStation 4?
Yeah, well, I'm actually an Xbox guy, but you guys are nailed it right in the head. I really just not in the mood to buy an Xbox One X. I gotta be honest with you. There's much other stuff I'd rather spend my money on than a brand new console. when, you know, I've only had an Xbox One for like 3 or 4 years. Kind of like, I want to keep this for at least another, you know, like few more years at least. But anyway, NHL 21, it's coming. It's going to be on the shelves October 16th, right around, probably like right after, like probably a week after the finals actually ends.
I'm setting our alarms.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be interesting. And I think we're going to get to who's going to be on the cover in just a second. But I don't know. I'm expecting it's going to be a good game. I mean, I'm glad they're keeping it on current gen. And, yeah, let's see what happens.
Yes. And speaking of NHL 21, let's have a good prediction of who will be on the cover of NHL 21. Heard some talks about Leon Draisaitl coming in and Artemi Panarin. I think the best one's going to be is Colby Cave. I think I heard some talks about Colby Cave obviously going to be on NHL 21. And yes, we heard what happened on April 11th, 2020. Right. We were sad about him passing away with a very bad brain bleed. And I think that it's going to be a good respect and memory if NHL 21 even wants to remember Colby Cave on the video game itself.
Yeah, Cave's an option.
I agree with you. I think Colby Cave should be the player that goes on the cover, but Willie, ultimately, the thing is, I think if you put Colby Cave on the cover, really, you know, unless like diehard hockey fans like us, like of course we'll still buy the game. But I mean, like maybe outsiders like are like, oh man, like I really want like Drysdale or Panarin or Nathan McKinnon on the cover. But instead we have Colby Cave, who I'd say passed away, but they really deserve to be on the cover. And you know, you'd hate to have that kind of controversy. I think they should do the right thing, put Cave on the cover. But ultimately, I do think EA is going to, unfortunately, look past, you know, that. I think they'll put Colby Cave in the game, but I think they're going to kind of look past that a little bit more. And my ultimate prediction, I think they will put Nathan McKinnon as the cover. I'm hoping it is Colby Cave, but that is my prediction. I'm going with Nathan McKinnon.
And before Michael does it, David Ayers on NHL 21.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got him on the Hurricanes.
All right. The thing with Cave, and if it's like who should they put and who I think they will put, I'm with Grant. They should put Colby Cave in that, you know. But I think EA is trying to, you know, not really have like a sad reminder of what happened. Obviously, with Colby Cave. I think it's going to be David Pastrnak, personally, on the cover of NHL 21. I think it's either Pastrnak or McKinnon. Pastrnak or McKinnon, I'm going to go with. But I have to say Pastrnak. I think really he's like the fan favorite. A lot of people like him a lot. So and he's obviously one of the better players in the AHL, or at least this year he is. So David Pastrnak is my pick.
Yes, and Grant, I think you can share the screen right now. So,
sure.
So the North American Hockey League Maryland Black Bears unveiled their new uniforms. So, what are you guys' thoughts about the jerseys? Is it a W or an L or a neutral?
We're going to ignore Sam Fetterman's comment because, well, we're talking about it, so.
So, yeah. What are your thoughts about the jersey?
As someone who is like, I pay attention to like the New Jersey and stuff, and someone who lives in Maryland, I personally believe that these are huge win. I love these jerseys. Both of these colors I think are really, really nice, and I think especially like the black one with the flag and the bear, I think it's going to look nice in the ice. That rhymed. So I do think these are a win for Maryland, for the Black Bears.
Yeah, Graham, what are your thoughts about it? W or L?
Oh, definitely W. That is awesome that they put the bear smack down in the middle of the logo and they have the Maryland flag either across behind the jersey or on the bottom. It looks very nice, very clean. Honestly, kind of looks like a Bruins jersey a little bit. If they were to just strip the Maryland flag, I think the Bruins could maybe even get away with using something similar like this. Very interesting. I like it a lot. Don't know much about this team, but At least I know they got pretty cool jerseys now. So,
Right.
But yeah, no, I think A plus, 100% on both of them. Both look very good. Plus, a yellow jersey as your away jersey, that is, or I don't know if that's going to actually be their alternate, but they should use that yellow as their way to kind of spice things up a little bit as well.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and yeah, for me, like I like how they use like the Maryland Pride, like the Maryland Terrapins did as like their alternates like back in the 2012s, in the 2010s. Like for me, what I'm looking at is that they're like representing like their state, which is the most important thing. You're like representing your state. You're supporting your like the bear. You got the black, yellow, and red as like your state colors. I don't have any problem with it. I think that they did an amazing job having those jerseys as your like your home or away, or if it's like your alternates. It's either or, but I think it's a home run W, and I'm looking forward to see that go on the ice for many years to come.
Absolutely, yeah. No, those look slick. I like those.
Yes, and speaking of not speaking of, the New York Islanders have named their arena what's like UPS or I don't know arena and Belmont Park.
It's called the UBS. Yep, UBS Arena.
I said UPS like the mail.
Yeah, that's what I thought was at first too. Not gonna lie.
So, what are your thoughts about the name UBS Arena?
I mean, UBS sponsored them. They're paying them the most money for them to get sponsored for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
So I don't disagree with that there. I mean, I think the arena name sounds fine. Construction for this arena is, of course, going to be in Long Island, New York. It is for the Islanders are going to start using this as their home facility for right now. The plans are the start of the 2021-2022 season. Give them about a year or so to build this arena, and I think it'll at least be better than the Barclays Center. I don't know about the Coliseum, but I think it'll certainly be better than the Barclays Center.
and even who even plays at the Barclays Center? Like it's built for basketball.
Right. Yeah, I think the UBS Arena. I think it has a nice ring to it, personally. And
That's good.
I think it's something that we can get used to for the Islanders who've kind of been moving around.
Yeah, I think we have like a couple more, I believe. Ducks re-signed Troy Terry.
Right.
Yeah, no, I like Troy Terry quite a bit. He was a very good player in the minors with the Seagulls, and I think the Ducks should probably call him up. I know it's only a 3-year, two-way deal, I'm pretty sure, but honestly, the Ducks should mainly keep him on their roster. He's been fantastic based off what I've seen from him so far. He is wicked fast, and he is strong in the puck. I think definitely within a year or two, he'll definitely be an NHL regular. And, yeah, no, my expectations are pretty high for him. I think – he could even become like their first line center when, Ryan Getzlaf retires in about 2 or 3 years. I really think if he grinds it out and, really performs that NHL ready level, I think he certainly could. So it'll be interesting, but I think the Ducks, as long as that ruin him, I think he'll be fine. I'll just put it to you that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Troy Terry. When he was in World Juniors in Canada, like 2 or 3 years ago, he's just impressed me by how the play style he was when he was in Canada for World Juniors. I think that he has a bright future of being like a top 6 center with Anaheim. Like I said, like he's like 21, I believe, or like 22. But like, if you're looking at a guy who's like 22 years old, who's like in his like past his ELC, I think you're looking at a guy who can have a legitimate shot of being your elite second line center, close enough of your 1-2 punch if Getzlaf retires anytime soon. I think Getzlaf has 3 years left of production. So far it's like Henrique is like now Getzlaf, Henrique, and Troy Terry as your first 3 centers in the Ducks.
Right.
So Mike, what are your thoughts about Troy Terry resigning?
Yeah, I agree with Grant that Terry has potential. I don't know if we'll see how the Ducks handle him. I'm not sure if like first line or Grant. When do you think if you say he might go in the first line eventually? Like,
I'm thinking at least 3-4 years down the road. At
Right.
least 4 years down the road. But I think it's certainly a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. I don't know about like first line, but definitely he has really good potential. I like the guy. So you guys mentioned he's fast, he skates well, Grant. So yeah, I think it was the right move. Building up the future there in Anaheim.
Yeah. All right. I guess it's time to do our NHL award predictions. Let's start with the Frank J. Selke Trophy Award. Patrice Bergeron, Sean Couturier, or Ryan O'Reilly. So let's go back where me and Grant did the All Sports Talk Show when we predicted the NHL awards. I said Tyler Toffoli, but I think you said Ryan O'Reilly. But
I think I said O'Reilly. Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, for like right now, I'm going with back-to-back Ryan O'Reilly. He's starting to become a franchise two-way forward. He was not the physicality that he was when he was in Colorado or Buffalo. He has now developed offensively finally as to become a franchise two-way forward with the St. Louis Blues, and I think O'Reilly is a runaway with Bergeron, Couturier, and the Frank J. Selke Trophy race. So Grant, who do you think is going to take on the Selke?
I know a lot of fans want Couturier to win badly, but I gotta agree with you here. I think it's gotta be Ryan O'Reilly back-to-back years. I think Couturier's got a shot in a couple years. Bergeron's obviously won this many times already in the past. I would definitely say O'Reilly for this year, especially since he's just still producing at such a high rate, and he's really like the offensive juggernaut for St. Louis at this point. I think you gotta still give it to him, but I think definitely in a couple years, Couturier's got a shot.
Yeah, I gotta go with Grant and Alex, both of you guys here. Ryan O'Reilly, definitely. I like Couturier for the future. Bergeron's got enough times. Both of them are obviously still 3 great players, but I think this year, I like what Alex was saying. Ryan O'Reilly probably running away with it. With Tarasenko out this year, O'Reilly really stepped up big for St. Louis over the years, so I think he really deserves it.
Yes. Norris Trophy, I don't think that we need to get over this. I think this is an obvious one. Massachusetts native John Carlson, this is a no-brainer. We don't need to get over this.
Yep. Hashtag Johnny for Norris, baby. Let's go.
100%.
I mean, Hedman's decent. Roman Yossi, I don't think Yossi should win. And Hedman, maybe, but I think Carlson's overall the best defenseman out of the 3 of them. That's honestly why I'm going with them. I mean,
yeah, I gotta agree. I think Carlson
level.
Carlson no needs for an introduction. No need.
Yeah, Carlson's definitely been the better player this year. I love watching Ben Carlson. He's one of my current favorite Caps. On the Caps, he's been excellent the whole season, and I do think he's better than Hedman, who I think is the only other really option. I'd throw Yossi out of there.
I don't even know why really Yossi was nominated. I mean, he kind of had a rough year, really.
To be honest, right?
Yeah.
MVP, we got Drysdale, McKinnon, and Panarin. Nathan McKinnon.
I know a lot of people who, again, kind of like how a lot of people want Couturier to win the Selke. I know a lot of people want Panarin to win the Hart, but
Yeah, same.
I'm gonna go with Draisaitl. McKinnon is a very, very good choice. Really, you can't complain with whoever really wins this one. They all three definitely deserve it. But I'm going to go with Draisaitl just because simply to the fact he's averaging like 2 points a game. Absolutely ridiculous. He has over 100 points in, a lockout season pretty much. I mean, imagine if we played the whole 82-game season. He would have had close to like 130 points at the way he was averaging, which is just out of this world. So I would say Draisaitl, maybe Panarin, then McKinnon. I'd probably go maybe in that order, but I don't know, Michael. What do you think?
I agree with you on one point. On the point that you made that really all three deserve it. These are the three leaders in points. No, I'm sorry. McKinnon is not. He's fifth, I believe. Draisaitl and Panarin are in the top three. Both of them. Draisaitl with being the most in points, running away with it. Second is his teammate. He's had so much production with a second superstar on his team, Draisaitl. I think it's going to be really close. I think all three of them deserve it. But I think I gotta go with Leon Draisaitl. For now, just an excellent season. With everything that he's been, doing. 110 points on the year. He's had an absolutely amazing season. So I gotta go with Draisaitl.
Yes. Two more topics to go. I think we can rank our top 10 favorite goaltenders of our choice. Grant,
Yeah, we can do it.
Are you good? Yeah. All right. So I think why not to start with me. Number 10. I did not write anything down, but I'm just gonna go in my head. Number 10.
Yeah,
I got Ilya Samsonov. I got Samsonov from the Washington Capitals. Number 9. I got Andrei Vasilevsky from the Tampa Bay Lightning. Where were we? 8. I got a shocker one. UC Soros from the Nashville Predators.
Up and coming star. I like it.
Yeah. 7. I got Mackenzie Blackwood as a future starter. Like he's starting to get better. 6. I have Tuukka Rask. I know he should have been in the top 3, but Rask is a regular in my mind. 5th, Darcy Kemper.
Underrated player right there.
4, Antti Ranta. Number 3, Frederick Anderson. Number 2, I got Connor Hall. And number 1, David Ayers. I'm just joking. I'm joking. Elvis Merzlikins. Merzlikins is my top favorite goaltender.
I am shocked you did not say Ben Bishop. I was expecting you to say Bishop, not going to lie.
Well, Bishop's in my top 15.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
Yeah. All right, Grant. So who's your top 10 favorite goaltenders?
All right, again, I didn't write anything down. I'm just going off my head, too. I'll try to do them in order as well. I'm going to say number 10 for me would probably be Frederick Anderson. I would say 9 would be Vasilevsky. 8th, I guess, would be Jordan Binnington. He's impressed me quite a bit.
Why did I forget him? Well, okay.
Yeah, Binnington for me. Where was I? 7? Yeah, 7. 7, I'm going to actually go with Bishop here. 6, I'm going to go with Connor Hellebuck. 5, Pavel Francouz.
Are you kidding me?
He is good. He has been very good with the Avalanche.
A bit of a spoiler. He's on my top 10.
Yeah, I was about to say he has been wicked impressive this year, Alex. I know you always give him a little bit of grief here and there, but I think he's really deserved it. He's very good, very underrated. Anyway, 4 for me is 4 for me. Who am I gonna go with? I'm guessing go with Josh Gibson for 4th.
Oh, okay.
I already know my top 10. I just have to figure out who's my 3rd one. I guess I could go with Pekka Rinne. I've always liked Pekka Rinne for a while. we'll throw him in there. Why not? Give him in 3. Again, if I wrote this down, he probably wouldn't actually be in 3. He'd probably be somewhere in like the top 7 or so. But anyway, 2, I got Tuukka Rask. 1, I have my man Jonathan Quick. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Michael, what do you got?
All right. Again, I didn't write anything down. I can tell you, at 10, I'll put Jonathan Quick. I like Quick. I like him, for a while now. This might be a bit of a surprise, so I'm gonna put it 9. Give me Corey Crawford. Actually, I always like Corey Crawford. He's just been someone that every time I really enjoyed watching play. He has to throw Bennington in there at 8, right? At 8. At 7, I'm gonna go with Pavel Francouz. This year especially, I thought he's done an excellent job. He's another guy I really like watching play. I have to go with Philip Grubauer, former Cap, for my 6th spot, right?
Yep.
The reason he wouldn't be higher is because of the disappointment. I was pretty disappointed when he had to let him go. And then in the original, when we won the Stanley Cup in 2018, when he lost those first 2 games against the Jackets, I didn't really like him to watch afterwards. I've been a really big fan of Pekka Rinne for a while now. And Frederick Anderson as well, so that leaves me, I believe, at 4. At 4, I'm going to put Sergei Bobrovsky, another guy that I've really liked for a while.
Isaac will like, yeah.
Yeah.
Isaac's gonna say 1.
This might be bit of a surprise, but just like for a really long time, or for at least the past couple years, I feel like he probably would have been higher had I, lower had I not had I written this down. But Robert Leonard, I want to throw in there. I want to give him some recognition. I love Robert Leonard. At 2, it's tough. I can tell you before. You know what? Yeah, let me reveal 2. At 2, I'd probably say, I don't know actually. It's really tough because if I would have written this down, I could tell you I'd have a clear top 10.
Yeah.
I think I have to. I like. He probably wouldn't be 2. Actually, you know what? Put Devin Dubnyk there. I love Devin Dubnyk. Devin Dubnyk's been excellent for a while now, and as a Caps fan, doesn't really hurt my team that much. And number 1, of course, Braden Holtby. Easily, Braden Holtby. I'm sad he's probably going to leave the Caps, but I love Braden Holtby. Always have loved Braden Holtby. For my least favorite goalie, I can tell you right now, my least 2. I know off the top of my head, my least 2 favorite goalies are Marc-Andre Fleury and Matt Murray. I mean, I dislike them with a passion. So, especially Fleury. So, yeah, that's probably my top 10, I'd say.
All right, we can actually do honorable mentions if you guys want.
Honorable mentions. I got Carter Hart, and this is gonna be another surprise, but he's most likely playing the AHL, but he's gonna be crazy in the NHL. I gotta go with Sam Montembeault from the Florida Panthers.
Honorable mentions for me: Samsonov. In the future, he's definitely going to be on there. I can tell you right now, I'm excited to see, but I don't think he's really given me enough to like yet. Honorable mention Aaron Dell from the Sharks.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I like him.
Yeah.
I would say my honorable mentions would probably be Robin Leonard, Mackenzie Blackwood, and Martin Jones, and Carter Hart, and Hendrik Lundqvist. There you go. 5 honorable mentions. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. And we'll do quick for one more. Let's predict the exhibition games. And speaking of exhibition games, me and Grant will team up for the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Philadelphia Flyers live stream I think it's like July 27th is where it
Yeah,
all.
Tuesday, July 28th, 4 o'clock Eastern. Me and Alex will be on the call for that together. So
Yeah, set your
you'll
alarms.
want to stop by. It'll be fun.
That'd be
All right. I think there's one team that we need to save this for last, which I'm not gonna say. Let's do Toronto and Montreal. So, who's gonna win, Toronto or Montreal?
All right. I'm going to give short, pretty much short explanations for all of these, but I think Toronto's going to win. You can even give a quick score, too, if you want. I'll say Toronto 3-2.
Yeah. from me, sorry.
Oh, God.
I'm gonna go with Montreal 4-3 overtime.
Ooh, I like it.
I'm actually going to go with an overtime game, too, but I'm going to go 2-1. I'm going to go with the Leafs.
All right.
Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. I think it's gonna be Philadelphia. It's gonna be a tight game. We want to know who's gonna start for Pittsburgh. Will it be Jerry or Murray? If it's Matt Murray, it's gonna be 4-2. If it's Jerry, I'm gonna say 3-1.
So you see the Flyers win either way. All right. I do see the Flyers winning as well. I do think Matt Murray will get the start for at least the start of the playoffs. I think that's what they'll do unless the Penguins do something like Son Grubauer over Hope. Either they win the cup unless you do something like that. I think you should start Murray at least and then maybe switch to Jerry in the future. But for this one, yeah, the Flyers win too. 4-3 in overtime.
I'm going to go with a 3-1 win for Philadelphia.
All right. Clean sweep.
There's one team that I left out. Edmonton and Calgary, one of our favorite rivalries right now. I think it's kind of funny because I think the league wants them to be nice with each other.
That's some good luck with that.
I mean, they can't be fighting each other with the social distancing stuff going on. They can't be fighting each other every
They're
5
gonna do it, and they're gonna find a way to do it anyway. I guarantee it. It's just like, yeah, it's always heated when they play. And Flyers Penguins too. It's gonna be.
They're rivals. They're in the same division. They're gonna beat the heck out of each other.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Edmonton 4-3.
I'm gonna go Calgary 4-3.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Edmonton. I'm gonna say 3-0. I'm gonna predict a shutout. 3-0. I'm not sure if did you guys say we were gonna wrap up? I have a question for you guys at the end. Remind me to tell you.
Yeah, sure.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Washington, Carolina, which that's again I'm going to be broadcasting. Washington, 5-4. If they bring up David Ayers, it's going to be 6-3.
I got Carolina winning 2-1.
Okay. Michael?
Give me Washington. I'm gonna say 3-2 in OT.
Okay. I'll take it. Tampa Bay, Florida. I'm going to say Tampa Bay 4-1.
I'm gonna say Lightning win 2-0.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Lightning. I'm gonna say 3. No, I'm gonna go 4-3. No, okay, yeah, 4-3. High scoring game.
Yeah. St. Louis, Chicago. I'm gonna say St. Louis 5-0. No, 5-1. 5-1.
I'll say the Blues win 3-1.
The Blues will upset some fans. I'm going to go ahead here and pick an upset in OT. Actually, no, not an OT. It's going to be 4 for Chicago, 2 for St. Louis.
All right.
Originally, I was going to go for
An exhibition game. Anything's possible. Plus, they did have 3 months off, so you never know.
Right, that's true.
I'm Colorado, Minnesota. I'm going to say 4-1 Colorado.
Yeah, I'll go 4-1 Colorado as well. That seems pretty accurate.
I'll go 4-2 Colorado. I'll say that.
All right, well, the Avalanche only scored like 2 goals. We jinxed them.
Vancouver and Winnipeg Jesse Pollock Jets. 3-0 Canucks.
Yeah, Jesse will not be screaming, let's go after this one. I'll say Vancouver wins 4-2.
All right, Michael?
I'm gonna go and say Vancouver as well. I'm gonna go with an overtime game, 3-2 Vancouver.
Yeah.
Okay. New York Islanders and New York Rangers. 5-3 Rangers.
I'll go 3-2 Rangers.
The Battle of New York and wonderful Canada. I'm gonna go 4-1 Rangers.
Okay. Last day.
Yep,
Vegas and Arizona. I'm gonna go with 4-1 Vegas.
I'm gonna go 4-3 Vegas in OT.
I'm gonna go with a shutout for Vegas, 2-0.
Okay. Nashville and Dallas. It's gonna be a high scoring game. 6-5 overtime. Dallas.
Ooh.
I agree with the high scoring. I don't think it'll go into overtime, though. I think it'll actually be 7-4 Dallas. Still pretty high scoring, but.
I'm gonna say 2-1 Dallas. I'll say 2-1 Dallas. I'll go with the Stars.
All right. Last one. Boston and Columbus. And I'm gonna go last because I want to make a surprise. So Grant, Boston or Columbus?
Yeah, you know, check me out on July 30th. I'm on the call for this game. I'm going to do everything I possibly can to be on the call for this game. I got the Bruins win too. Give them a 4-1 victory.
Yeah. I'm going to go with another high scoring, a 9-goal game. I'm going to go 6 for the Bruins, 3 for the Jackets.
Ready for the surprise?
You don't have Columbus winning, do you?
6-2 Jackets.
Wow. Okay.
Disappointed, to say the least. You're wrong. You're wrong.
There's only one way the Jackets would win this game, and that is 2 topics that we talked about earlier. If Tuukka Rask doesn't play in the beginning, and if David Pastrnak doesn't play.
Yeah.
Both of those, though.
Yeah.
Both of those happen, then maybe. But no, the Bruins are much better than the Jackets.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right, that's going to wrap up for today's podcast. We would like to thank Michael Mirsky from the Next.
Mike, were you going to say something actually real quick?
Yeah. Before, I have a question for you guys about, it's like a predictive question. So, I'm not sure if you guys were watching, but the Premier League is a soccer league in England. I was doing some of those games on Sportscaster. When they came back from the restart, there was like low scoring games. There was like 1-0 or like 1-1. They have draws there. 1-0. It was like really low scoring. I have a question for you guys. Once the NHL comes back, do you think that the teams are going to go more defensive and be low scoring, or more attacking, and the goalies will be tired and it's going to be high scoring once it comes back?
I'm going to say I could see a lot of these games, especially when we get the exhibition games into the actual playoffs. I think we are going to see quite a bit of high-scoring games. I think they're going to really try to wear out the goalies late or early, and then, the goalie and defense get tired real quick.
Yeah, for me, I think it's going to be a low-scoring because, yes, it's been 3 months with no hockey. Like they've been doing training camp for like a week. Like they did not train very often, like in the middle of the pandemic, till like everyone like goes to their homes. I think it's gonna be a low scoring for like a little bit, like in the middle of like the play-in rounds / round robins. But for me, I think it's gonna be a low scoring for a little bit, and like once they're like all good to go, hit the reset button, all good to go. Like I said, they're gonna go like back to normal. High scoring or low scoring?
I think, I take them back a little bit. I think it will start off pretty slow. But I think once, the round robin's done, when we actually get to the actual playoffs, then, I think that's when we're going to get quite a bit of goal scoring.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah. All right. All right, so that's going to wrap up of episode 14 of the Powerskateshow podcast series. We're looking for episode 15, who is a diehard Tampa Bay Lightning fan. I think we're gonna be pumped with that. So Michael Mirsky from the next. Michael, thanks for coming out today. Really do appreciate it.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me on. I really enjoyed being on today. And I'm sorry I couldn't get the camera working.
It's no big deal. At least we could hear you fine. I guess that's good.
All right. Thank you guys.
No problem, man. Have a good night. And the next, I think they'll be on in like 10 minutes. So if you want to go check him, he does a fantastic job with Josh Berman. I'm pretty sure, they're going on pretty quickly afterwards. I'll try to tune into that. But hope you guys enjoy another edition of the Powerskateshow Show. Next week, though, hey, listen, at least we'll actually have some hockey games to talk about next week.
Yeah, and with that, check out on our social medias, check out on our Instagram and Twitter, and new TikTok, which we're trending so fast. I cannot believe it. I did not expect that happening. But check out Grant Flood on Instagram, Floods the Sportsman, for daily sports news. Just recently hit 1K last week. Yep, I knew that's gonna happen. Check out Pittsburgh and Philadelphia on July 28th. I think I'm going to say this wrong, but hey, it's all right.
July 28th, Tuesday, July 28th. Yep, 4 o'clock Eastern time. Me and Alex, we'll be on the call for the Penguins-Flyers game. So if you want to stop by, please do.
Yeah. All right, Dad, that's going to wrap up. If you guys like this video, please hit the like button. That's going to make us do more podcast videos. Is that right, Grant?
Absolutely. Hit that like button. It could be on my account. It could be on Alex's account. Hit the like button. And follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
And TikTok, if you guys have a TikTok.
Oh, boy. How could I forget the TikTok?
Yeah. All right, Dad, that's going to wrap up. I'm Alex Sasso alongside with Grandpa Fuss the Sports Zone, and have a nice day, everyone.
Enjoy the rest of your evening.